Hey y'all, so today we are going to play the role of tourist and do a little walkthrough of Midtown Village and Washington Square West in Center City, Philadelphia. Alright, let's go. The FORREST Theater, at its current location, was built in 1927. It is Philadelphia's premier Broadway touring theater. It was originally at Broad Sansom, but was demolished and replaced by what is now known as the Wells Fargo building. It is located at on Walnut Street between 11th and 12th Street. We've turned off of Walnut Street and are now on Quinn Street. Quinn Street is between 11th Street and 12th Street and runs between Walnut and Lombard Streets. Washington Square West is considered the second most walkable neighborhood in Philadelphia, with a walking score of 99. Avenue of the Arts has captured the top spot with a narrow margin, and Center City West is at a close third. This tree-lined street has the old cobblestones, which is indicative of it being a historic neighborhood. You can see the placard on this house, which has been deemed a historic residence. Continuing down Quince Street, just past Spruce Street, you have the Mask and Wig Club. The building was built in 1834 as the St. Paul's Evangelical Lutheran Church. 50 years later, it became the Mask and Wig Clubhouse, a rehearsal and gathering space for its collegiate musical comedy troupe members. In 2022, the club removed gender as a qualification for membership, as it was originally an all-male troupe. Here you have the Walnut Street Theater. It is America's oldest theater, and because we are celebrating the 250th anniversary, they are doing 1776, the musical, here. And as you can see in the background is Thomas Jefferson University Hospital, which extends across the street and beyond. We are currently standing on Walnut Street between 8th and 9th Streets. And behind us is Wills Eye Hospital. As you can see, Walnut Street is a very busy street for traffic. So now we are walking down Walnut towards 8th Street. We're going to make a left on 8th to Jewelers Row. If we continue going straight on Walnut Street, we will run right into Washington Square. But first, Jewelers Row. So here's the start of Jewelers Row. You're currently on 8th Street. And as you can see, there are tons of jewelry stores and watch stores all along 8th from Walnut to Market. including some pawn shops. And Sansom, between 7th and 8th, is considered the official jeweler's row. This is where it all started. There was a bid out to knock down some of these buildings and build a brand new skyscraper here, but the Jewelers Row District Committee fought to save the historic nature of this street. So it remained just as you see here. And to give you a perspective of where we are at in Philadelphia, turning right from Jewelers Row on 8th Street, we see the Curtis Center on the left, right here. It's called the Curtis Publishing Company. And directly in front of us is Washington Square. So Washington Square is one of the 5 squares in Philadelphia. It creates a really lovely green space within the confines of the city, as you can see. We got squirrels squirreling. And in the warmer months, there's a little fountain here. To the right of the fountain is the tomb of the unknown soldier. And then if you turn left at the fountain, you walk back towards the Curtis Center. There used to be a tree planted here that was the seeds and the soil was actually taken to the moon on a space mission. So they dubbed it the moon tree. But for whatever reason, they removed it. All that's left is this little memorial monumental rock. So a little history on Washington Square. It's a memorial of the many American soldiers who during the War for Independence died prisoners of war in the jails of Philadelphia and were buried in this ground during the years 1977 and 78. On 6th Street, just opposite of Washington Square, you have the Athenaeum. It was founded in 1814. To my right is the Walnut Street Prison, and the building in front of us with the limestone base and the brick above is the Curtis Center, or the Curtis Publishing Company, as it was well known. And then you can see here's Washington Square. Crossing over Walnut on 6th Street, here again is the Curtis Publishing Center, or the Curtis Publishing Company. It was where the Ladies' Home Journal and other publications were done. And you can go inside the lobby of the Curtis Center and see this gorgeous mural called the Great Dream Garden. And it truly is one of the most interesting pieces of art because it is individual little pieces. Across from the Curtis Center, you have Independence Hall, as well as the Penn Mutual Life Insurance Company, which was where the old prison was. The Morris House Hotel is a converted historic house in Washington Square West, located on 8th Street between Locust and Spruce. Built in 1787, it is a well-preserved example of a Philadelphia Georgian townhouse. Originally built by John and William Reynolds, it was sold to Luke Lister Morris in 1817. The Morris family occupied the home for 120 years before it was converted into a boutique hotel. On Locust Street between 7th and 8th, you have Musical Fund Hall, which is the first musical hall. It was also the site of the first Republic Convention. And as you can see, we cannot go in because it is currently a private residence. These are lovely flowers. No significance to this house, but you could tell it's an old house. Okay, continuing down 8th Street towards Spruce. You have St. George Greek Orthodox Church.